Hi, welcome to Virtually Sunday, a production of Whatsoever You Do Incorporated, located in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Well, this week is draft week in Green Bay. It's the week that we've been waiting for an entire year since the conclusion of the draft last year in Detroit. Right now, on this Thursday as I record this, there are probably plenty of doubt. There's probably plenty of doubt in general managers and other personnel executives from all 32 teams. Will they pick the right guy? Will they fill the right needs for what their team needs and what they're lacking? There's probably little doubt from the guys that will be chosen the first night of the draft. Those guys know they'll be chosen by a team, if not tonight, certainly tomorrow, and they'll be making a team because it'll be a number 1 or a number 2 round draft pick. But by Saturday, there's going to be plenty of guys doubting whether they'll make a team at all. Will they be part of one of the 32 teams? Will they make the big show? Will they have to try out? What will their future be? There's probably plenty of doubt from a lot of guys who played college ball who won't know if they're going to make the NFL or not. This weekend's gospel from the Gospel of John is the story of the doubting Thomas. Many of us know that story where Jesus appears to the disciples hidden away in that upper room, cowering in fear because they just saw their Messiah killed on a cross. Well, Thomas isn't there. And when the disciples recount the fact that Jesus had appeared to them, Thomas doesn't believe it. He says, look, guys, unless I can touch the nail holes, the wounds in his hands, if I can touch the wound in his side, unless I can do that, I don't believe this. And then Jesus comes back again and reappears, this time including Thomas. And Thomas is able to put his fingers into Jesus' hands and his hand into his side, and to really come to this belief. I love how the popular show The Chosen treats the disciple Thomas. Thomas is shown as having a girlfriend who then becomes his fiancée. Her name's Rhema. And in, I believe it was the end of season 3 of The Chosen, Rhema is tragically killed in a kind of a riot in town. And Jesus doesn't come to her aid. Jesus doesn't raise her from the dead. And Thomas really has some doubt in Jesus in terms of his ability and in terms of who he is, based on the fact that he doesn't bring Rhema back to death, even though it seems like Jesus has the power to do so. And then at the end of season 4, Jesus goes to Bethany and finds out that his friend Lazarus, his good buddy Lazarus, has died. And what does he do? He brings Lazarus back to life. Well, Thomas views this and he says, look, how can you bring him back to life, Lazarus back to life, and not my loved one, Rhema, back to life? So I can almost see how The Chosen is going to play this out. How in the resurrection scene where Thomas is missing from the action and then is there to encounter Jesus, still has this in the back of his mind. He rose Lazarus from the dead. He didn't do it for his loved one, Rhema. And because of that, he still doubts who Jesus is and what Jesus is. We all have doubts. Most likely there's a story behind those doubts, a reason for those doubts, just like Thomas had. The way I look at it, faith isn't about certainty. It's not about having certain truths and being able to recite those truths. Some people believe that's what faith is to be. I truly don't. I believe that faith is about having a certain amount of uncertainty, even doubt, and filling in that gap with what we call faith. That's why we call it a leap of faith. There's a gap from doubt to certainty, and we leap through that gap to faith. So faith is for many a process of moving from doubt to faith. We celebrate a man this week in our lives who passed on Monday, Pope Francis. Pope Francis was certainly a man of faith. I just loved how he didn't stress the certainty of the church in his papacy. He didn't stress the teachings of the church. He stressed love and he stressed mercy. He stressed the love and mercy and ministry of the church, especially reaching out to those on the margins, the most poor, the most vulnerable in our society. Some people this weekend are celebrating Divine Mercy Sunday in churches on the second Sunday of Easter. This is a time when we celebrate mercy, of having mercy on those who need mercy. This is also a time to celebrate Pope Francis and the gift he has been to the church. It's a time to accept, probably even encourage doubt. It's a time to be merciful. It's a time to be merciful to one another. It's a time to be merciful to our environments, as Pope Francis taught us to do as well. It's also a time to be merciful to ourselves. How are we showing ourselves mercy? How are we showing ourselves acceptance and love? Even in those times when we have our greatest doubt, even in those times when we have the largest gap to jump through or to jump over, even in those times when we don't know if faith is possible. This weekend, on this Divine Mercy Sunday, when we celebrate the beauty, the ministry, and the life of Pope Francis, we also celebrate mercy. Have a great Sunday. Have a great week. And as Jesus said in our gospel today, peace be with you.